I am Niveditha.indrajit and I'm in conversation with Roochira and Hemant Sakarwal, my favorite people. um, right now, I know you don't have the Cafe de Loco, but I still don't think I will take it as you don't have. And it's in pipeline for some other place or some other bigger way or whatever. So Cafe was the reason why we connected, I think. And you knew my husband, Hemanth, and that's how you knew each other. So after meeting both of you and I fell in love with Ruchira's cooking, then you were sidelined, of course.
Okay.
You were for the tang kichafying and she was the khana pakafying.
Yes.
So that's my interest in what you do. And you mentioned that Cafe de Loco meant like, the fun way or how to do things and all that. So I just want to know your journey, your life.
By the way, Cafe de Loco is still alive, but we are mostly online.
Thank God
Instead
for
of
that.
physical place, we are giving our products online.
Yeah. And I'll wait for deliveries to be at my place too.
Yeah, sure. We're going to launch new products as well very
Okay.
soon.
Okay. So tell me, who will start first? Who will tell me about how you came about having the cafe for dogs and humans? I will put it in that order.
Let Hemant talk about it.
See, if I have to talk about myself, I always wanted to start a cafe. More like, standing behind the bar, making drinks, more of a wine cafe. In fact, I gave a proposal to the excise commissioner in Hyderabad to help me set up a wine cafe. So basically, serving wine over a tap, just like you serve a beer. And the entire restaurant was supposed to be serving items made from wine. So of course, wine is there, and I do make wine. I have been making wine for the last 15 years. So I make wine from gooseberry, pineapple, banana, all those kind of things. So the funda was to have a cafe or a restaurant where everything is around wine. But somehow that didn't happen because the license and all those things just got stuck into the bureaucratic tape and whatever. And then we did wanted to start something. If not wine, chalo, let's start a cafe. And then we saw this place, which was an open plot in Gachibowli, and thought, this could be a place where we can have a pets cafe, because you need to have a place where the dogs can run around and play. Had it been a closed apartment or in a marketplace, probably we didn't have thought about a pet cafe. So we thought, okay, let's do it, because nothing like this exists. And the basic reason was Pluto, our dog. And we didn't have any place in Hyderabad to take him along. Basically, where he can also have his food and we also can have food. There used to be there are still restaurants which tolerate pets, meaning you can take your dog along, but they are not, designed around dogs. So you have to keep them on leash and somehow have your food and go out. So we wanted a place where the dog can order. There is a menu for them. There's a separate kitchen for them. They have a place to play, run around, make friends. The entire concept around it. And that's how we started. We thought, okay, let's do it. We had no idea what we were getting into, to be very honest. Initially, we started with the cafe. Then we started adoption drives every Sunday. Then we had birthday parties, and she used to make a lot of cakes and cupcakes and cookies and whatnot for. In fact, those are the ones which are still going on.
Yeah.
And we have to launch more products online around the bakery items.
I know that the biryani you used to make for the pets were more fascinating and Ruchira than
Used to make it, look like a biryani. So my dog is having a biryani. So people used to get very excited. And also, having a menu where 2-3 pages are for pets, like the starters, the main course, the dessert, the soup. So they used to get very excited.
Yeah.
So that's how the biryani thing started.
Oh, nice. What about you, Ruchira? I mean, you mentioned something about what De Loco meant, no? I mean, you went somewhere and...
Loco is actually, it's a Spanish word which means crazy. And
Means
this
what?
cafe was it's a word called crazy. It means crazy.
Yeah. Mm.
So basically, like people who are crazy would like to do something like this, and they will appreciate this cafe than any other normal
All
person.
pet
I
lovers
mean,
are crazy people.
yeah,
We treat our dogs
as
as if
a
they are,
baby,
as our son and daughter. So people who don't have pets don't get it.
they wouldn't
Yeah.
understand.
They don't understand what this guy is crazy. What is he doing?
Yeah.
So that was the whole thing. We started. Okay, let's make it Cafe de Loco.
So it's
So
a crazy cafe.
So, did you ever imagine, like, when you're growing up as a child, that you would do something like this, or was it very different, like education-wise, or growing up, or was it in a different way, or were there any choices that you came across and you were able to easily flow into making choices?
Uh, in my case, I used to love pets since as a kid. I always had a dog. In fact, I was the one in the family, pestering my parents to get a puppy and all that, and then finally they got one. So I always had a dog in the house, and really I used to love it. So I love pets. So that was there. I never thought I'll open a cafe because I'm an engineer by profession. So after doing my schooling and everything, in fact, I used to like more, working with tools and like a mechanical engineering. But my marks in 12th standard was like too good, and I got computer science, and everybody said, "Hey, take it, take it." It's like the the in thing during those times. I'm talking about 1986. Don't try and guess my age now. So, uh, so in those days, computer science, and you have the grades and everything. I took it. So the life went along, one thing after another. We were abroad for a lot of years, uh, worked in different companies, came back to India, and the bug started when I came back to India. Yeah, we have to start some cafe, something in the hospitality. As I said, I love entertaining guests. In fact, I have a full-fledged bar at home. I love to be behind it, making cocktails and this. And that's how the mojito thing started in Cafe de Loco. You must have had mojito there.
Yeah.
A lot of drinks, the coffee mojito. And then I like making coffee, so I had a big machine that was my toy out there. So making different kinds of a coffee. So I was happy with all that. And basically that's what interest in the hospitality industry is what led me to open the cafe. And then we love dogs and both the things. Let's do something which can be fun for the pet lovers as well. So we started this.
And what about you, Ruchira? How was your childhood growing up? And
More or less the same, because even my family, I mean, from my childhood, we always had a pet. And but then it was like once you own your own, in the sense, like when you take responsibility of a pet, you understand more. And that's when Pluto came, and the idea of that the pain of not taking him out anywhere. This whole thing got accumulated, and then we thought, okay, since we both love to socialize, we both love to interact with people every day, it's fun, and having parties. So it was this whole thing made us think about opening a cafe where you can have a like-minded people. There is some kind of similarity between one person to another. There's some common factor which would be there in the cafe. And nowadays everything is on social media. You have networking and all that, but then the fun of meeting a person face to face and having some kind of a wavelength there, it's amazing. So though Facebook is there and other social media, you have so many other things, platforms, but then the fun to interact with the person who's sitting right next to you, it's totally different.
yeah,
It's not a regular cafe. I'm sure, like when you used to come, you were not like alone. When you go out of the cafe, you would be going with some good memories, and you'll be making more friends. So that was the
Yeah.
whole idea. I mean, we both love to socialize, and this was the perfect place where everything was together. Have
Yeah, I know
food, have
that. I remember coming there around 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. I'll go on until 9 or 10 o'clock, and sometimes you would close up and we would
yeah,
walk with you.
that's what we wanted. We never thought like a customer as a customer. It was more of like a family, an extended family. You keep adding one person every
It was easy
hour
to
or
make
so.
friends when people come.
True, because there's
Because there is
some common factor.
other guy with the dog. Hey, how's your dog? So you were popping,
And
you
then you
play.
make your own community, which is so beautiful.
In fact, we acted as Cupid for some couples. These guys actually got married also. You won't believe it. And they were like, we were trying on Tinder and this and that, but this is like the best. Because both of you have the same interests. They interact in a safe, fun place, and they started dating, and one thing led to another, and they actually. So it was.
So a lot of factors actually, made us open this cafe. It was just not one. We love pets. This, unconditional love. Then, if you have a pet, then you want to do more and more for them. You want to offer more and more. And the pain which we went through while raising Pluto, in the sense, not pain, I would say, it was more like, basically, you are restricted
You're
to many
going and
areas.
having fun with the pets staying at home,
Exactly. It's so painful. You have so much of guilt inside you as as a parent, that, oh my God, my child is sitting in the house. You have a AC room. You put a TV. You give the best of the best food. If you are stepping out of the house, so all these things, like, and end of the day, you're always thinking, oh my God, he's alone. You have to go back home. So why like that? Why don't you take him along? So that is the reason we started having movies there, where you can, because there's no theater where actually you can take a pet along.
Yeah.
So we had an open air theater where you can sit and enjoy. We had those charpais. You order popcorn, burgers, pizzas, pastas, not pizzas, but basically in continental food. So we wanted that everybody, right, from an old
Like a
person.
hangout. It was more like you
Yeah.
must have seen, people coming with a
Yeah.
guitar, playing
Yeah.
in the evening or singing.
Karaoke nights. I think even the young ones used to sing a lot.
Correct.
So
And we never used to invite any professional per se. People like me and you, and you like to sing, they bring the guitar
Yeah,
along and
please.
they used to play. We never paid anything for the advertisement also. We never paid anything for, the papers, but they all came to us because it was something very unique. They used to get, this guy is having a news article. We also want to do a news article on it. So we got publicity because of the concept we had. Initially, we also were not aware, but once we had the framework in place, it was quite a lot of fun ride after that.
So how do you
But
see how do
yeah,
you see the future, and like what can we do
oh,
to have?
there is tremendous future. The only thing is right now, because of the COVID situation, the physical interaction with people is a little bit of a risk, and that is the reason we have closed it. But we have seen a lot of people adopting pets during this lockdown. You won't believe, I used to get one call every like 45 minutes to 1 hour. People asking for, I want to either buy or adopt. We don't encourage breeders and buying of pets, but what I'm trying to say is the population of pet parents has increased a lot since the lockdown. Maybe because of the boredom, maybe because of people have realized that this is something they want to do. Whatever it is, I don't know the exact reason. So there is a market. The market size has increased. That is one thing. And when you play with the pets, there is a lot of feel good factor that you feel. Like, for example, like you do Reiki and meditation and all that, but you had to learn. There are so many years that you had spent learning how to meditate and calm your mind, but you play with the pet and you forget about everything else. And that's the reason people used to spend 2-3 hours, because they used to forget. I mean, you won't believe people. I hardly used to see people checking their WhatsApp and emails or whatever when they are in the cafe, because they are just busy interacting with the pets or talking to people.
Yeah.
Not really busy with the social media. So the future is there. There is a lot because of the market size which has increased. Because people have realized that to have a happy life, probably pet is one of the contributor to it, and probably they're missing a lot if they don't have a pet.
Yeah.
And if you have more number of pet parents, obviously the surrounding, because you treat them like a baby, and you don't spare any expense for your baby. So whatever the baby wants, you probably buy it. And it's the same for pet parents. You want the best food, you want them to have the best places to visit, the best clothes, and best leash, and the deal. You are a pet parent as well. So
Yeah.
there is a
So,
good future to it, and we are going to open it soon once we see things settling down a little bit.
this is my ask. Like, there are, like, off late, I think there's somebody called Caller Folk who started off with hotels also. Like, you can go actually take them with you to a hotel and stay. So I hope
Correct.
there are a lot more,
Correct.
cafes and lot more hotels where you can actually take your pet and it's just normal. It's not like you require special permissions for that.
Oh, absolutely. There are quite some hotels in Hyderabad also which allow.
Yeah.
But they are like, oh, your pet should not make this dirty, your pet should be here and this and that. So there are a lot of restrictions because those hotels are primarily not designed for pets. As I said, the difference between a
Yeah.
restaurant which allows pets versus our restaurant which is designed for pets. So
Yeah.
if I will open a hotel in future, I will open a hotel which is designed for pets. So by the way, humans are allowed too, just like our restaurant.
Thank you so much for having this conversation with me because there is this whole concept that if when two people have a conversation, it's like we are acknowledging that we'd like to create something in the world, and just by
Yeah.
having this conversation, I think what if it creates a larger aspect for everyone, including us. In fact, when I heard that you actually had a cafe, I was like, oh, because in 2006 or 5, I was just thinking, why can't we have cafe like that? And then I left it. I just wrote it down in my book, like, these are the things I wish that happened, kind of. And so when I saw you, it's like, oh, I don't have to do it myself. You just have to know that you can create this, and somewhere in the world it'll pop up.
Yeah.
So thank you for actually being those two people.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Manifested and actualized my desire.
Absolutely. We'll come back in a bigger frame, and
Yeah.
so hopefully it will happen soon.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right.